Hello, hello, and thank you so much for popping in. You're in for a treat. We have prepared this really thinking about the questions that people have been asking me in messages. And also, I am opening my business energy course. So, if you are either a starting entrepreneur, you are about to dare to step in, or you are someone who's been working on their entrepreneurship for a bit and you know it could be better, you know you could feel more relaxed, the money could be flowing easier, and you resonate with me, go ahead and click the link below here to get more information. I have limited amounts of spots because I take care of every single student, making sure that they have their project running right. We create a project where you are using your intuition, your energy, but also modern business tools so that you are seen both energetically and physically, so that the clients and the money goes flowing to you. We also go working with publicity ideas, how to be seen, lots of tangible and energy bits and pieces that have helped hundreds of entrepreneurs to up their business, work less, and really feel like I started feeling finally when I stepped into my passion, fulfilled. That's it. Enjoy. See you later. Thank you so much. All right. If you guys are with us live, you can, perfect. You can also drop where you're joining from. We are both in Prague, actually. Or are you in Prague, Clementine, or are you a bit outside Prague?
No, I am in Prague.
Which
I am
is
in Prague.
which is amazing, you people, because I don't usually see people around me. I'm so happy to have hi Modi, hi Moidi, Khaled. I usually see people from all around the world, and this month I started connecting with a local community, which is another manifestation of mine, and Clementine is part of it. And today we are going to be talking about how to start your passion business, because I have gone from being a therapist, going through energy healing, healing people, healing people, healing people, healing, teaching people how to heal, how to use clairvoyant intuition to heal and to align energy, to teaching people how to do a business, because I've been a business owner for 22 years and now use the energy tools and intuition to teach people how to work them in business along with business tools. And we both have a passion business we were afraid to start, and now we are happy we have. So we are going to talk about that today. We're also going to talk about how we switched and how we manage the workload. Especially Clementine, she also has a 9-to-5 job, which is a case for loads of my clients and students. They are switching from a job to their passion business. And I actually recommend that also because it's easier to have a transition period, to feel like you have the backing of the money coming in, of the security. And we are also going to be talking about the secret of working less for more money, or tapping into your self-value so that you can get more money than you thought of, which is a big thing. Really good energy. Yeah. So let me tell you guys about Clementine. So Clementine is an RTT therapist, a rapid transformational therapy therapist, right? She also does something called, is it called heart therapy? Did I get it right? Heart?
Oh, I'm not doing it yet. This is like next on my list. I'm starting the training for that in September, but it's heart healing, like the heart healing.
Correct. Yeah. And from what I understand, besides having been a really strong creative interior designer who has switched into the passion business, or has created a passion business on the side of doing the 9-to-5, you also identify as a light worker, as a healer, as an intuitive. Is that right?
As a light worker and a healer, yes. An intuitive, I don't. Although, yeah, I don't.
I'm
But
pretty sure
light
you
worker
are. You just
and
don't know how to put the words in it.
empath, yes. Starseed, yes. Yeah. And I just wanted to say something because you said that we were both afraid of starting our passion business. And unfortunately for me, I was not. I was like completely naive and I thought it would be a piece of cake. So yeah, but we can
Oh,
talk about this a
okay.
bit
All right. Yeah.
later.
So yeah. So let's talk about that. And then the important thing, you guys, is that Clementine works with creatives, with healers and light workers who are afraid to step up, who are afraid to get into their full power, because she used to be that. She used to be a person with anxieties from driving, from talking, from singing, from really stepping up there and showing people what she knows. And now that, well, years later, after she's healed all that and figured out how to heal it, she knows how to help you and has helped lots of people being able to step into their creative or light working power. Am I saying it right, Clementine? Is that something to add?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I was living in fears basically. I was like letting fears guide my life and restrict my life. And now I learned how to let go of them. And that's what I help my clients do as well. And usually it's fears of failure, fears of rejection, of being criticized, mocked, this type of fears.
Not
Fears
being
of feeling
enough, probably, right?
sorry,
Not
not being
being
what?
enough.
Yes. That's like a base of all of the others, I think. This
Yeah.
fear, yeah, this belief.
Yeah. Yeah,
Exactly.
beautiful, beautiful. Okay, so tell us about how you then were not afraid to start the fashion business, because most of us were afraid or are afraid to go and start it.
Well, maybe that was like the very naive part of me that I fell in love so much with the modality, with RTT, with working with the subconscious mind, that it was just like this big bright light in front of me, and I didn't see anything else. It happened as well during COVID. So I end in my maternity leave. So I studied when my second boy was a baby. So I was anywhere at home, anywhere on parental leave. I studied, I graduated, and I started. And when it was time to come back to work, I very boldly decided, no, I'm just going to go full in my business and do just that. So yes, and
Wow.
also
Okay. So maybe tell us, what does RTT do? What was such a strong thing that convinced you that that's the thing to be doing for yourself and helping people with?
yeah. So RTT actually, I don't remember if we mentioned it here, stands for Rapid Transformational Therapy.
Yeah.
It's a modality that works with the subconscious mind. It's a type of hypnotherapy that was created by Marissa Peer. I'm sorry if I look weird, but I don't see you still. So I'm just like, I just see myself. So I don't
We
know.
see you.
Uh, okay, that's great. I don't see you. So I
Oh
don't
my
know
God,
if you're
so
making
weird.
that's
Internet.
weird. Yeah. Anyway, so it's hypnotherapy, but actually how it works, it's like it's very fast. So hence the rapid part of the name. How it works is that we go into the subconscious mind. We go to the past to scenes from my clients or the person in trance that created the issue. So, for example, on something like not feeling enough, we would go to three, sometimes two, sometimes four scenes of their past about why, what created, what scenes, what belief, what emotion, what action, what did they see or experience that made them feel that they were not enough. And sometimes it's something like really little but repetitive. A parent that is never paying attention when you speak to them, that made you feel, wow, I'm so uninteresting that my parents don't even bother to look at me or do eye contact. It's never something conscious. It's not like oh, my parents don't care or I'm not interesting. It's just like the repetition makes it like, okay, I am probably not someone very interesting because when I speak, they don't listen to me, they don't listen. Or it can be being compared, being neglected. It can be many things. And we actually go in trance to look at these scenes. What are the emotions attached to it? Um, what are the feelings? And basically we extract all of these emotions. We make them come back to the surface, and then we reframe them. And we look at the fact that no, this person was not paying attention doesn't mean that you were not interesting. That's the conclusion that you made, but this person was distracted. This person it was neglectful in this moment doesn't mean anything about you. That's the story that you created
I
from
love
that
that.
moment.
Yeah. The story we
Um,
created, yeah, about the lack of value. It doesn't have to be true, but it's so real to
yeah.
the subconscious, and until we reframe it and transmute it. So you go doing it a lot with people's self-value, if I'm saying it right, and fears. And that's
So
what,
yes, I worked a lot with confidence, with performance anxiety, with speaking in public, with self-confidence, self-esteem. It's as well very linked with anxiety and depression, but this requires a bit deeper work often. Uh, and the last part I didn't mention is the transformational part, which is we do a hypnotic recording that the client keeps forever, that they listen to for 25 days every day, and that is basically helping reframe the belief. So once we've explored and understood the reason, the root cause for the issue, and reframed it, then we create a recording with what we actually want to achieve. So I am confident, I am worthy, I am worthy just because I am, my voice matters, I matter, all of these things that I am enough, that we need to know, to feel, to know unconsciously and consciously. And the repetition actually makes it like we just absorb it. It just becomes a part of who we are.
right, yeah. And the hypnotic part and the transmuting part there does sound like rapid resolution therapy that John Connolly came up with. I need to go and look them up later to compare. That's really powerful too. And
Yeah.
yeah, I use it in my courses and sessions. Okay, so that was what convinced you, because it's really powerful. And then you
Yeah.
decided, I'll go and teach others this because it's a tool that I want to spread, right? Probably there was the in you, I want to help people, like how I've been helped. I want everyone to be able to see what everything is possible for them.
Yeah. I'm not teaching it. I'm applying. I mean, I apply. I use this modality. But yeah, I remember the one session that absolutely blew my mind was when my client was in the womb and could remember the feelings they felt in the womb. And I then had one myself where I was in the womb, realizing, oh my God, I'm afraid I'm going to disappoint because I'm a girl. What? How could I think such a thing in the womb? And this was like the beginning for me. And then the rabbit hole started, when you start realizing like um, how the stories you make about yourself, about who you are, about your reality, about what life is like, and once you start like letting go of one, you realize, okay, but what about this one? Is it as well just a story, or is it true that I'm actually bad in mathematics, or that I suck in with money, that my relationship, like, uh, you just like start reconsidering everything, and then it's like you want to
I love
explore
that.
everything, and it's
Yeah, you
just
want
the
to fix
beginning.
everything because you're like, oh my God, I can fix everything.
Yeah, and you see the impact. So I don't work like with energy. So I'm not like that's your part, right? But you can see how it changes things, like the even like relationship, people, what you expect. It like it's instant. Like sometimes it's like this, that you have a session, the person has a breakthrough in the session, and right away things change, like everything about their reality. Sometimes it takes longer. It really takes like the months of listening, sometimes more, and the changes are gradual, but doesn't mean that they're less. It's
Yeah,
it's really fascinating.
I
Yeah.
love that. Yeah, I had a client recently who had gone through a transformation like that, and they could see immediately that at work they gave them a pay rise, and their partner actually started without them telling them anything, because from kind of the 3D tangible stuff, if partnership needs to improve, what I would say normally is like, why don't you talk? Why don't you talk about, what you need? But it's also your energy to bring in there the mindset that you are changing through removing the traumas, the subconscious programming, and you can come actually home with a different energy,
Yeah.
and the partner just feels it, and all of a sudden they are more caring, or they make you dinner, and you name it. So that can be, yeah, really powerful.
Yeah.
So how was the I need to do it now? It was a COVID time, or what kind of gave you the I would say the courage to get into it?
Becoming a mom. So first child already sparked something about what is the meaning of life, why are we here? Are we really here? Like when you see a new life coming to this planet and you're like, is my job just like to give birth and then put him in a daycare and go to my work and that's it? Like, is that what we're here for, really? And I started questioning a lot of things. By the time the second one came, I was already not very conventionally doing things, so I gave birth at home, um, in the water with hypnobirth. So I was actually listening to audios to fight the pain. So I didn't have any drugs or anything to lessen the pain.
Wow.
And I felt like a portal when I gave birth. It
Oh
was
my
like the most,
God.
yeah, it felt I'm a goddess. Something is happening. I'm a portal to life. And it was extremely strong experience. It was beautiful. And it really changed things even more, I would say. And after that, I was like, no, I have to do something more meaningful. I need to do something. And then I just saw an ad about RTT. I just followed the ad. I had a session on a webinar, and I saw how it changed me. And that was it. That was like, it was crazy because it was like not very cheap, the training. I was in maternity leave, so it was not the reasonable thing to do, but I was hooked and I knew that's my next step. That's it. This is what I need to do. I don't know. I don't even know. I don't really have an explanation. I just knew
I
and I
love
did it.
that. So there is a few trigger points. Definitely one of them is like following your intuition, even though maybe prudence-wise, it wasn't such a smart thing to do, or like, someone who's purely analytical would tell you like you shouldn't be investing in a training now, you shouldn't be starting a business now, but you
Mm.
just follow that fearless calling, basically overcoming the old Clementine who would go like, no, I'm afraid of things. And now we're like, no, how about we not afraid of things? How about we actually do the thing we really love? And then the other trigger was realizing you're way bigger than just the human body, just the one life, but you're a feminine goddess if you decide to step into that, thanks to giving birth back then to your first kid, right? Your first son.
Yeah. Well, my first son was absolutely traumatic. Yeah. Like it was
Right.
horrible. But the second one, the birth was like, but the first one was as well like extremely triggering because it was so traumatic. And that's as well why I started questioning things. They took my baby, my newborn, for hours out of my room just because I had asked for a different bedroom. So they just like, oh, you don't have a room where to put him. He was healthy, I was healthy. They just took him away, and I had no idea why. And I was furious. Afterwards, I was so guilty and I felt so bad. Like I failed him. I should have fighted for him. Or at least they should have told me I'm not going to see him for a few hours so I would have slept or something. But I was like, where's my baby for hours? And this is when I was like, there's something like really wrong with how it all works.
Mm.
There's something wrong here.
Mm. So would you recommend that women who want to start their fashion business should become mothers? That would be one of the things they should
No,
do.
no, no.
I want a kid. Give one more traumatic birth.
I think for me it was the trigger, but I think if you are lucky enough to have the trigger without going before, like if you do it before, it's probably much better. Like if I had done all of this studying and entrepreneurship thing before being a mother and just become a mother when this was okay, that would be the reasonable way, you know. Because it's a baby, a business, you know.
Yeah, I often say that. I say it. That's why you shouldn't have like two at the same time as well. If you do, like, you should have someone helping you with that. You should have like a little
Yeah.
family helping you, like with a baby. Right. So yeah, you guys, if you are joining us late, I'm talking to Clementine. She is a holistic therapist and she's running her passion business on the side of her 9 to 5. She's a creative designer, and now her 9 to 5 is organizing finance conferences as well, right? Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay. And she's a mother of two, and she's running her holistic therapy passion business where she's helping creatives, light workers, healers to step up in their power, find the confidence like she did. She was a person who was afraid of things, stepping up,
Everything.
talking, singing. And she uses these beautiful modalities of hypnotherapy, like reprogramming for it. And she's sharing how she pivoted and how you guys can do it too. Now, to give you, because I promised, I'll also say like how I pivoted. So I had 2 other businesses before I started this. Before I started working with energy and helping entrepreneurs through energy. I was first a teacher. I'm a linguist. I'm also a psychologist, but I didn't do any psychology. I didn't do any therapy until I was well in my late 20s before I felt I was good to do that. And I studied linguistics. I got a degree in that. I had a business. There was teaching, there was translating, communication. I had clients from all over the world, national banks, ministries, embassies. It was insane. I was making so much money that I could just go anywhere in the world and stay in a really nice hotel. I never understood, like, when it was a surveys, and it's like, what kind of hotels do you stay in? I was like, 4 or 5 stars. What kind of question is that? And yet, when I reached my 30s, I had always been working. I come from a family that is a family of diplomats and Jews, and they're like, on the one hand, they're like super laid back. On the other hand, they're super ambitious. There's a fine line between finding that balance in your life. I guess that's kind of gave me that idea about it too. And in my 30s, I decided, or like I was 29, that I wasn't really following my passion and I had to go and get retrained. So I started mindfulness coaching, and then I went into the whole energy training, and I started helping people with that. I was getting like these really quick results with people, but I was running it on the side with me teaching, me translate. I had a team of 7 people that were working for me, teaching languages, translating. We were doing conferences where we're interpreting. And I just didn't want to let go of the job. I was so afraid that I would not be able to sustain myself with this crazy business I came up with. I
Wow.
thought like for years I still had imposter syndrome, and I didn't tell my clients what exactly I was doing with them. I didn't tell them how I learned, like clairvoyance and healing. And the more adventurous ones were standing, and I was like waving with my hands next to them. I don't do it in person so much anymore because what I do now is so powerful. I can do it online. But back then I had those wonderful people who would go like, okay, yeah, do it on me. Wave your hands in front of me. And I remember having this client who, besides coming to me with her everyday issues, she got tonsillitis. And I was like, well, I can heal it. And she's like, oh, let's try. So I gave her, and you guys, without help, don't do that. I gave her a blend of oregano oil for the throat, and I did some healing on her. And before that, she actually got prescribed antibiotics already. And she had them in the handbag, and I was like, try not to take them. If you don't get fever until tonight, try not to take them. If you do, take them. So I did this, and in 3 days she's messaging. She's like, I'm good, it's gone. And then I knew
Wow.
I knew I had to pursue this.
Amazing. Yeah.
And the same then happened when I started helping women who are stepping into the power of building a business. So how you help the people who are afraid to be themselves. I help the women who are afraid to ask for what they want, have the business that they want, and feel really intuitive and relaxed in that, not being in the the 9 to 5 or like 12 hours a day working masculine power. So when I started helping those, and all of a sudden they were making from $40 an hour to 150, they were like, and I was like, is this happening really? And then I had to do this. But you guys, I do have to admit, I don't say this often enough. I will do probably with time some more content on that. Switching businesses, it's really hard work for your human mind.
Yeah.
Your human mind can get super tired, super scared, right, Clementine?
Yeah.
Also having like juggling the more things. So that's why the tools, the calming down tools I have, the energy tools are so important to me. And even then, sometimes I'm so drained, I'm so scared, I just take a day off, beating myself and exercising and going for walks. Um,
Yeah.
but, but yeah, other than that, it's been now 8 years doing exactly the energy stuff, and now relating it to business, and it's been like ongoing growth for me,
Yeah.
both business wise and mental and energy wise. So
Wow.
how do you handle the family with that, Clementine?
Well, family is my priority because after all, that's, I mean, my priority with myself, my inner child, and my family. I would say together, they are the reasons why I want to be my best self, or I want to be my most healed self, because I don't wanna repeat on them the things that I'm still trying to heal from.
I love that.
Um, so, but it's an everyday challenge because yes, a full-time job. Um, Plus, I have to say actually that I took this full-time job after 2 years of doing just my business,
Wow.
my because I tried and my husband was like supporting me, but because I didn't know really how to navigate it in the beginning, our savings kept melting. And there was one moment where I was like, okay, well, I think it's time to realize that this has to become a side business for now. It's like I was terrified of that part more than going full in, but because I was very afraid that it would mean I would be so tired with a full-time job and 2 kids that I would let go of it, and that it would just become like an old memory of a hobby, you know.
Yeah.
Um, so that was terrifying for me, and I'm glad to say that this didn't happen because this is a passion, right? So whatever you can do, it's keeping me awake. So if it means I have to study or write something after my kids are in bed and after my day, there are ways. For example, writing a post in the morning before going to work. But I have to say it's not easy. It's not an easy thing. It's I need it because as you mentioned, like once you are it's such a growing so much and you realize your potential, and it's like it self feeds itself, I would say. Um, but there is not really a way. Like, yeah, except yes, getting support, getting a plan. Who can help? What time can you
Asking for
actually
help.
allocate to it?
Asking
Hmm?
for help. You just said it. Asking for help. You need to
Asking
ask
for
for
help.
help, right? Yeah. Yeah. Most
Yes.
women don't ask for enough help, or they don't ask for help.
And any type. And I just like this is like a card that I got this week from my oracle. Ask for help from anyone, like your guides, your partner, your parents, the babysitter, the cleaning, any kind of help, you know, like any help that you can get. And this is something I had to work on as well because I had the fear of asking. Because this is as well linked to self-worth and receiving. And if you
Yeah.
don't think you're worthy, if you think that you're always a burden, if you think that asking means that people are going to be annoyed with you and they're going to be rejecting you. This is as well something that as an entrepreneur I had to work on, because it's not obvious for everybody to
No.
ask for help.
Yeah, I love that totally. That's something I tell people really often, especially like if you I often teach people how to start or how to redo a business so it's easier and you can make more money. And it's really about you getting more help. And it's even in a relationship, because somehow, so as I teach the feminine energy, as I help people with the feminine energy relaxing and getting into I can receive easily. Um, it is about the relationship too. Like if you're in a
Yeah,
relationship, you want to ask for help there and you want to ask for what you need. And us women, we often aren't guided to do that. So yeah, like us getting into the space, like, okay, let's be, the receiver too. Let's be, it doesn't mean like I'm weak if I'm vulnerable. There's often confusion as well. And it can do
exactly.
such, yeah, it can do such, it can make such a difference. Like the simple example is like for me, the first 3 years of this business, no longer, wait, 5.5 years of this business, I didn't get help. I didn't get an assistant. I had sometimes people that were training with me, so they were helping a little, but only 2.5 years ago, and Marcia is here, so thank you so much, Marcia, for helping me all the way through. It's a huge weight off my shoulders, and that way I can develop actually myself and the business and help people better. And like what we usually do, we are afraid if we ask for help that we are going to devalue ourselves or we are going to make less money if it's a business. That's actually not true. Like really quick, you start making the money back, because if you run it in a structured way, then logically the person helps you to generate more money. And with anything else, the person helps you to hold the structure and you being the real value that you can be to the world, not a tired. I don't know how about you guys, but I can be super grumpy. Like I can be a bitch if I wake up, I haven't slept.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. And what I was saying a bit earlier as well in our call is that when you're so exhausted and you don't have anyone to help you, you are just working in your business. You're not able to be creative, to find new ideas, new courses, new services, because you're just doing the work when you could actually lift some time to dedicate to the creative part, which is the fun one actually. And you need to be like fresh a little bit at least to have fresh ideas and fresh visions.
Yeah, totally. That is something we don't realize. Like we do, and the self-value and how to make more money comes from that too. Because if you are in high energy, if you value yourself, if you have worked with the traumas, with the fears, you have backing of a guide, of a community, then you go like, okay, wait, I'm really good. Like I can really help people. How about actually ask for something I really want?
Yeah.
So let's address two more things. So if you guys want to ask, yeah, we have one question here. We'll take it. And if someone else wants to ask, we can take another one or two questions. So Brian asks, how would you do something completely different? How would you do something completely different? But it is different, right? It's like your 9 to 5 is planning or producing finance conferences,
Yeah.
and your passion job is helping people holistically with their mindset and with their old traumas to become their best selves.
Yeah, it has
So
nothing to do, and which is a little bit difficult because actually I should not be talking like I can't really be talking about hypnotherapy to the people I'm in touch with for the conferences. It is a little bit linked in the fact that, there is this confidence speaking in public, being on stage part, but basically the people who are on stage at our conferences are like highly professional, top level executives, and they have no confidence issue at all. So I'm not, helping them in any way there.
What would your advice be there? Because if someone's telling me how would you do something completely different, well, what I did was also completely different. Okay, I've always been teaching and helping people with something. Like always been doing that. Okay, there was a point when I was living in the Netherlands and I was cleaning houses. I was babysitting again, helping someone, and I was teaching people languages. But so maybe when I was cleaning houses, I was completely different. But I would say it comes down to you fearlessly following your passion. You know it, because when I imagined that the rest of my life I would be, well, it wasn't, I would say just in quotation marks, teaching and, translating. I just knew there was so much more I need to help people with. And I couldn't live with the idea that I just couldn't develop more. So if you have that calling, anytime you have a calling, and it's with anything, it's going to some country, going for a trip, meeting this person, starting out new thing. If you know that it's calling you, or maybe is hiring someone new, like starting a new course, the moment you feel like doing it, you're like, there are a few nights when you wake up and you are like, or during the day you're daydreaming about it, that means your soul is calling you to do it. And from metaphysical perspective, in a different dimension, it already exists. You're already doing it there, and you are just bridging through this message, through this desire, the reality of you being able to quantum leap and get there. So go and listen to that. That's that we my advice there. Don't listen to the fearful voice, because that is the ego mind, that is the human part, which is completely valid here. But if your job is to recognize that it's fears, most of them are not valid anymore. They are programmed from the cave days when it was super dangerous to go out to go out and do something new, because it was full of tigers and bears, depending on where you were. But these days, I don't know about you guys, but even in my poorest days, and there were moments when we were super poor with my mom after my dad died, even though we come from this diplomatic family, they were all away, and we were counting whether to buy salami or whether to buy ham, because salami was cheaper. We were also thinking, like, if we're going to buy some clothes today, we can't eat that much this week. And yet, the whole time I've been fed, I've got water, I had a roof over my head, and always everything I needed came, because we don't need so much. And that's what say, you need to remind yourself, like, you don't need so much, and go ahead and follow that calling fearlessly.
I think as well, for me, like I did something completely different. First of all, I think so, well, from design, furniture design to hypnotherapy, there was a moment. So first of all, you have to be passionate. You have to really want it, because you have to be ready to put the hours, the time, the energy into this new thing. And then the second thing is that you have to accept that you're going to change identity. And this is something that looks like it's very easy, but for me, it was not, because I've always been the designer, the creative, the artist, the little bit crazy, not really conventional person in the family. And then suddenly I'm becoming someone who's like hypnotherapist or like healer, or and I could not, for a while, there was this weird feeling, like I don't know who I am. I don't know who I am. How am I supposed to be? How is a hypnotherapist speaking? What should I be like? Do we have to dress in suits, like, or how do we dress when you're a hypnotherapist? Or do I have to go full on hippie because I'm a healer? Or there is a moment where basically your self-image is a little bit like shattered when you go from something like to another, whether it's design or corporate or music or anything, to a completely different thing. You have to basically recreate your own vision of reality and your who you are and who
Yeah.
you want to be. And you can get lost a little bit in that, and it can be difficult then to find your voice and find, like, what is it that you want to talk about in this? Who is you in this new job? How are you going to do it? What are you going to bring to this?
I love that, Clementine, because that, once yeah, people don't realize that. And like, basically, if you keep developing, it's the same, like, as you mentioned, motherhood, right? So I get so many clients who have become mothers recently, or 2 years ago, and they kind of go like, I don't know who I am anymore. Like,
Yeah.
and I'm like, you're the same
Yeah.
person, just have a kid, right? You better, because you have a kid now. But like, and also we say often that having a business and being a mother, and you guys, I'm sorry that you can't be mothers, is the best self-development. So from this perspective, you keep changing, you keep improving, you keep upgrading, and you keep shattering the old version of you and you're stepping into the new version.
Yeah.
So if you keep developing, that will keep happening. And by tapping into your intuition, by tapping into your energy, by meditating, you can actually calm down. The fearful mind goes like, who am I now? Who do I become? Who do
Yeah,
I
it
tell
can
people
be
I am? What do I
painful.
put on my business cards now?
Sometimes it happened to me actually this year that I felt like my old self was literally dying. And there are moments where you really upgrade or you really like yeah, kill your old self to
Yeah.
become the new one. And it's I was sick, I was in bed, I was like really low, feeling like what is happening next? I'm not sure who I am anymore. I don't know what's going on. And then, you know, it's a phase and you step in this new person. But it's not only roses and, you know, they
No,
are
it's
like,
totally not roses and butterflies. Yeah, no, and you need to know that. And I love you saying that because there is always something to let go of and something new to adopt, and it's not always easy. And our job is to realize like everything is changing all the time, and it's okay. It's completely
yes,
okay. It is painful right now. It's painful today. Maybe today is harder. Andrea is asking, and Brian, do tell us if we answered your question or if you want to add something there. Andrea is asking, how do you deal with energy fluctuations? So I have different energy in the summer, Andrea says, and different in the winter. You can actually leverage it. So when you go working with it, you can leverage it by respecting it, by not going through the masculine power, like I have to work anyway, I'll have another coffee, I'll just wake up 2 hours earlier. I don't know what else people do. I have a Red Bull. Yeah, I will skip seeing my girlfriends. I'll just do the job, you know, or maybe, you know, like in relationships, like I'll fuck him anyway because he needs it, you know, and like you may be bloody tired, but you don't want to. Well, I would say go observing most of the time your energy and honoring it. So
yeah.
me in the summer, I'm way
Mm.
more productive. So I go actually creating things in the summer. Lots of people go taking time off. I do take a little time off, and most of the summer I go creating. It's also why my courses start in the summer really often. And then in the winter, I take about a month off in December. Sometimes I take 6 weeks, like December, January, I take some time off. I may not be completely not working, but I'm not working with people really often because I need the hermit time to go and kind of reflect again. I know that if you're stepping from a 9 to 5 to your passion business, you may not be able to do exactly that. But what you can do is not to criticize yourself for not being in the energy that you want to be and going like, well, how about now it's okay that I am not creating. What I like as well is
Yeah.
to have one of those sorry, the period apps. And the period apps go telling you what week of your cycle you're in. Now, most women, when they're ovulating, you want to observe with yourself, are the most active, the most creative. And then when they are around their PMS time, week before period, they kind of need the quiet time. So you can on Sunday, the week before you start planning your week, you can have a look, okay, what week am I in? Maybe I will reschedule some of my meetings, some girlfriends to the week after. What do you think about that, Clementine? How is that for you?
I love this question, and I love what you said, especially about the Moon app. Something that I'm very recently only becoming aware of. I realized that it's the second summer in a row that in summer I become very much about introspection. I don't want to post anything. I'm healing. I feel like I'm integrating all the healing I went through. And second summer in a row that I noticed it. So I don't know if it's always been like that. Um, and I saw something, I don't have much to say to add to what you said, but I just remember seeing this meme or something somewhere online about the fact that, you know, like the earth has seasons and there is a moment when, you know, it's made for internal growth, like spring, winter, spring, and there's a moment where everything is blooming and exploding, and that's fine. We're not supposed to be on the top of it all the
All the
time.
time, and
We
you
can't. We're
cannot.
just
Yeah.
humans.
I
Yeah.
totally love that. Yeah, that's so true. And what I teach my clients and students is to every morning at the end of the meditation to tap into what kind of energy they're in, and then maybe set 3 things that they want to be doing today that are going to be super valuable for them that day. And the rest they can kind of adjust, because not everything needs to be done. That's kind of the misconception. Those are the things that we are doing in the kind of pushing masculine energy. They're not great quality. So if you can put them away, if you can actually wait a bit with them, that's completely okay. Of course, you don't want to be like not cleaning your house and not cleaning your kid's bum or your bum. All of that is good energy to have cleaned. But tapping into really giving yourself the space to be able to say, okay, well, maybe today I don't need to see 5 people. So I used to actually see 5 people for appointments. Now I see about 2, maximally 3. And the funny thing is, because when you become energy aligned, the world starts aligning with you. So every now and then I go crazy. I'm like, oh, I'm super energized. You know, I'll book a 4th person. Guess what? They go canceling. On the internet doesn't work or something like that. So the world goes aligning with me. So you setting the intention that you're going to work with the energy fluctuations, keeping the chemistry really good, eating well, sleeping, meditating, moving, all that is going to give you the space to reflect easily and make adjustments. Does this make sense, Andrea? Let us know if that works for you. Right. So we've been here quite a while, Clementine. I'm so happy that it's
Yeah.
been flowing. So yeah, it's been a nice party. Thank you all guys for joining in. And yeah, so Clementine, is there something else before I ask where people find you? Is there something else you would like to add? How do
Um,
people get more money with their self-confidence? Tell us
well,
that.
for me, yeah, like how to, if you want to say a few words about what we mentioned earlier, earning more by working less. For me, it's very attached to our energy, to our feminine energy, to our ability to receive. And the way I work with that, for example, is to work on with my clients on their self-worth. Because when you work on your self-worth, what you are worthy of, you know, self-worth, net worth, it's very linked.
I love that.
Uh, so once you understand that you are worthy no matter what, you are enough, you can achieve anything. It's easier to say than to feel, of course. But this is like for me the crucial thing to accept ourselves, to accept our gifts, to start trusting ourselves. And when we do, actually, we unlock our intuition, our creative flow, our ideas. We start feeling confident to take action on them. And honestly, miracles start happening. So, like things that you would not even imagine are possible, but suddenly you get an offer out of the blue that is exactly what you didn't even dare manifest, but you were like kind of thinking that would be great, right? But let's not even think about it. And then suddenly someone is like, hey, so I've seen that this week actually with someone I know, and this thing is really real. When you start changing the way you see yourself, the way you perceive yourself, your self-image, what you think you are worthy of, you just align. Things align for you, and yeah.
Yeah, so
That's
do
my take
mention the
on this.
story, because you mentioned the story of your client when you were on a call. Let me mention mine here for a second, because this happens really
Yeah.
often. So about 10 days ago, I did, after a really long time, in-person opening feminine energy with Stephanie, Pursuit of Hearts on Instagram. And guess what? Right after, I got 2 offers from clients I haven't heard from, like one of them in, let me think, 5 years. And the other one was like in 3 years. And it was exactly the money I needed into my budget to start the new project I've been thinking about. And I was like, maybe I won't be able to, maybe I'll be able to. I was like, oh, let's see, let's just leave it to the universe. And it came. And also, and then I got little things like for the actual ritual, I got incense from, someone I knew was like, do you want this Moroccan incense, try it out. Then I got like this kind of humidifier for it. I don't usually use that. It was magical, just things were coming to me. So that's a little example, like when you open up and us connecting, you guys, I was supposed to do the live with someone else. I was just supposed to do it with Paula from Spiritual Prague Girls. and she got tonsillitis. And I actually asked, like, how did you get it? I can help. And she's like, wait, I'm bad now. But I reached out in the group, and within, I don't know, like half an hour, Clementine was like, oh, I can do this. So that's a miracle to me. Like, me being able to get some wonderful, valuable person I can connect with and I resonate with. Yeah.
It's a miracle for me too.
So that's
Actually, this
like,
summer has been crazy with this kind of thing. I don't know if it's for everybody the same, but this summer felt like the energy, the full moon, the eclipse. I don't know. I don't know much about astrology myself, but like I don't know. There was something intense with changes and transformation, and dare I say miracles, because sometimes I don't know how to call it differently.
no,
Uh,
totally.
as you said, like people coming out of the blue, which are coming with exactly what you wanted, the number that you needed for something else, or that, yeah.
Yeah, and I think it's about embracing the change, because the 3D analytical person who is still comfortable with blue. Are you okay there?
Yeah, I'm just gonna switch on the lights.
Okay, yeah, me too. I do that. So, like, the person who still hasn't overcome these obstacles would say, like, "Oh my God, no! Someone's cancelled. The world is against me. Something happens to me all the time." Whilst me, I'll decide, okay, let's see what we can do. Let's see what what else can happen. And the surrender to the change is actually what can bring the miracles, among you bringing your vibration up and opening your mind.
Yeah.
So what was the story of the client that got the magical offer from working too little or too much for little money?
I'm not gonna go in big depth about it, but it's really about a client who was working way too much and who could not find, like, there was like all the conditions about their work that was not like what they wanted. Too much work, not enough money, and we had like we worked on that, on this self-worth, on this self-belief, on this belief that you need to prove your worth by how much you work, and money will be only coming once you have worked more than the others, and the more you work, the more you make money. And they had like this belief that to make more they needed to do more, and so they were always like in the effort, in the struggle, and we worked on that, and within I don't know, a few days, it's really like strange how these things
Wow.
work. They had out of the blue a friend offering them a different position which matched exactly what they wanted. The flexibility, the salary, the income, and the hours. It was just perfect. And sometimes it blows my mind, just
I
like
love that. Can you
how
give us
that
the
works.
percentage, or maybe the hours that they were working before and they're going to work now, or the percentage of the increase in the pay? That's always like those. I like those numbers.
You want me to tell you how much?
Yeah, do you
What is the
know?
number?
Yeah.
Yeah. So the increase is something like 15,000 more per month. What we're
It's like
talking.
$700, something like
Yeah.
that.
And the hours, they're completely flexible. So I don't know. After
Wow.
like
Wow. Flexible. Wow. That's so good, right? Yeah. Wow. Amazing.
yeah.
Okay. I love
And
that.
I know that it's wow, because as a person who's working 9 to 5 and who has my other job,
Yeah. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
know
You would
I
love
could
that too. Yeah.
do
Yeah.
with a little bit less hours there as
Yeah.
well.
Who knows? Maybe you'll do that too. I love it. All right. So you guys, so we're going to be drawing this to an end. If you guys still have questions for us, you can drop them in the chat, or you can actually message either of us on Instagram. If you are in one of our WhatsApp groups, I would take some questions. Like after these lives, I'll take some questions. I know, Clementine, if you would, but I usually open stage that people can still message me. And you can find Clementine under, oh my God, I can't spell that, but it's Clementine Amiraux, and it's
Wow.
Amiraux. We'll definitely put it both in the notes here. It's going to be on YouTube too, and here in the notes on my Instagram, it's going to be as well. If you want to reach out to Clementine, she has a special word to send her. Do you?
Sorry, do I have a special what?
Yeah.
I didn't get
Do they
that.
say just hi in the message, or do they say a word if they want to reach out and work with you?
Um, no, hi is fine. Hi is fine.
Hi.
Or
Okay.
feel
Say
free.
hi.
333 is perfect.
Oh, 333. Okay, send 333. And I think
Today,
Clementine.
my group is celebrating 3 years. Actually, I just found out just before we got
Love
here. So that would be fun. But that's not. If you just say hi, that's fine. I
it.
will. I
Okay.
will respond as well.
And then, so if people want to work with you, they reach out on Instagram. If you guys watching this on YouTube, go onto Instagram, find Clementine under Clementine Amiraux, or in the last post where you will see her picture in my profile on Jelly Energy, and reach out, say hi on 333, and Clementine will talk to you, and she may give you a freebie as well. Is that true, Clementine? Do you have some
Yeah,
special gift?
I have a hypnotic audio which I can send, which is called Instant Confidence Boost.
Ooh, I
I
love
can
that.
send that
I
over.
want to.
I send it to you.
I don't have a, yeah, like, I may look like I have all the confidence, but there's definitely the days when I'm like, oh my God, who am I? Oh, yeah, I love that. Right. Yeah. And you guys, if you do want to do more work with me, reach out. Also, I'm opening a course after a very long time, my business energy course, where I teach you all the energy and intuition tools to tap into how to phrase your business, how to build it. I offer you a project where you are rephrasing it or building it yourself. You're learning both the business tools, the energy tools, the conscious sustainability on how to make money tools. And we are starting next Saturday, actually. So if you want to know more about that, comment business or send me a message business, and I'll be happy to talk to you more about that. Is there anything else you wanted to mention? So we have the freebie. We know where to find Clementine. I have mentioned this, and I think that's it. Yeah, Clementine, is that right?
Yes, that's
Yes.
it. You can find me on Instagram or Facebook, and
Yes.
yeah.
Oh yeah, Clement is on Facebook as well, you guys. Me too. I just just have my assistant check the messages. So if you want to reach me, go to Instagram if you want to talk to me personally. I love you so much. Thank you,
Thank
Clementine, for
you
joining
so
us.
much. Thank you for having me. It was great. It was a pleasure and an honor to be here, and I love this talk.
I'm so happy we could do this. You're such a gift to the world with all the opening of fear and stepping into their power and showing women and maybe men too, every now and then we get a man, how they can do it, how they can handle more things and be excited about it. So good.
Exactly.
All right, you guys, until next time, message us. Thank you so much for staying till the end. Now, if you're curious how to work with me, I do either very few one-on-ones. You can message me about that. And right now, my business energy course is open, only with very few spots. So do click the link below to get more information and to see how you can get in. See you in there or later somewhere else.